we are talking about inequality in Chile. Inequality is defined as the condition or circumstance of not having the same nature, quantity, quality, value, or form as another, or of differentiating from it in one or more aspects. In Chile, this is the mainly economic inequality and social inequality, where during the last years in 2015 had the fourth highest poverty index in relation to 35 countries according to the Organización para la Cooperación y Desarrollo Económico. Despite this, it remains relatively well positioned within from Latin America. On the left, informal settlement in Chile called Thomas, or pejoratively called poblaciones callampa. On the right, the financial sector of Santiago, originally Sanhattan as Manhattan. In 1877, according to the CASIN survey carried out by the Ministerio de Desarrollo Social de Chile, social inequality had increased considerably in the country. To end the program of the United Nations for Development in Chile aims to completely end poverty for the 2030. Now, my classmates are present their interviews.
Hello, my name is Pamela de Miguel. I am translation student, and my interviewee is Valeria Herrera. She's a student of hotel and tourism industry.
Hello, my name is Janice Ahumada, and here I am with Deborah Duarte. She's a housekeeper with studies in advertising and financial administration.
My name is Leslie Soto, and I'm a translator study. My interviewee is Esteban Suarez, and he is a supervisor of ENTEL.
Hello, I'm Karina Gonzalez, and this is Alejandro Martinez, a civil engineer from ENACO.
My name is Nicole Valenzuela. I am an English-Spanish translation student, and my interviewer is called Paula Rojas, and she is a nutrition student.
I feel that each time costs more to be able to enjoy the salary due to day-to-day expenses, so I certainly think that wage should be more equitable.
Well, I think that the wage gap is extremely unequal among different social classes. Lately, we have seen how the political classes benefit from ridiculous and shameful sums against the poverty in the country.
Well, I think the problem is education, and the best way to solve it is improve it.
Yes, I know there is a big salary gap in Chile actually, but we shouldn't worry that much about it. Instead, we should worry about the unemployment rate that we have actually in Chile. That says a lot more about the quality of life of the Chilean family than the average salary gap or the average salary.
That is wrong because the national income of the country allows everyone to belong to the middle class social stratum, but as we can experience, the economy is not evenly distributed, and that is the problem.
Because women is still not respected as should be, there's still prejudices that women's ability to perform in the work.
This is due to the male chauvinist culture that has always been instilled in us. And that is why we are in a society where it is normal that the gender wage gap is so elevated for men.
On my experience, I have worked with women who earn more than me, so I don't have this problem, or indicated solution don't applies on me.
There are many factors that can affect how a person is paid in its job. One of them is if he or she will be actually working the whole time he's supposed to. Women have one disadvantage, that is that women can get pregnant. So that's a problem if you are an entrepreneur and you have an enterprise or a business and you need to make it work 24/7. That's why women get paid a little less, but they can opt to the same opportunities as men.
There has always been a difference between men and women, making themselves not and believing that men are superior in many ways than women. And the women with the passages of the time has realized what they are or are capable of and has fought for every right that we have today, but unfortunately not everyone sees it that way, and that is why we still see difference such as salary.
I think it's horrible because that only shows that the educational system, in terms of the contents that are taught to children according to the socioeconomic level of the school.
Unfortunately, the education has been always seen as a business in our country, which I think it's unfair for the child with fewer resources does not have the right to a quality education as the high-income child.
As I say early, the current educational system is very deficient.
I know there are some differences between the education of a poor student versus the education a rich student can get. And that annoys me. But annoys me because it shouldn't be that way. Everyone should have the same opportunities, but your environment defines you. So if if a business or a company is going to hire someone from a lower class with a lower socioeconomic status, they should know that they are molded by that by their environment.
I believe that education is a right and should be under the same condition for all, and that there is no distinction between the place or the person in question.
I think that an education that focuses on values and principles should be implemented.
For me, it's simply a change of mind in our country, and therefore values and principles must be inculcated in our education.
As a measure to solve the problem, we must fix the pension system. The AFP system must be fixed. So when we will fix that, the equals or the socioeconomic levels will be more similar.
Well, I think there will always be some kind of conflict between social classes, but I also think that the government should start to fix this kind of conflicts from the education standpoint. We should start with nursery, then kindergarten, then primary, secondary, high school in that order, because we should uh, first take care of our little children, and then they will take care of their own compares on the other social classes.
I think we should all be treated equality, have the same opportunities to be treated for what we are and not for what we have.
Personally, I think the government should pay more attention to waiting lists to people who cannot pay for a particular health. The medical system should treat everyone equally without prioritizing for Chilean people or Haitian people. We are all the same.
I think the solution would be to better distribute the medical hours, make a demographic study that are according to the spaces required, and improve the education of the specialists and technicians according to the new reality of immigrants.
Recently, we retreat of the treatment of the Pact of Migration, and that is a clear signal of the government is improved measure about the situation.
Well, I think that immigration itself is not a big problem. The actual problem is a matter of allocation of resources. Imagine for a moment that we'd had infinite resources, then immigration wouldn't be a problem anymore. Immigration puts an additional stress on an already overloaded system. Our public health system and our educational system suffer from this silent burden caused by the massive immigration that happened the last 4 years, and I think that the government needs to do something about it.
Making the most of the infrastructure and equipment, creating the necessary places for professional and technical personnel, providing hospital and health areas with the necessary budget.